Just a moment, welcome to the Jam Podcast. Just a moment, welcome to the Jam Podcast. Just a moment, welcome to the Jam Podcast. This is the Just a Moment Podcast, where we pause to reflect on life through the lens of poetry and prose.
Hey, welcome back to the fourth episode of the Just a Moment podcast. We are happy to have you. In this space, we reflect on life through the lens of poetry and prose, and we pause to do that for just a moment. I am Shawn and Graham, your host. I am a poet, author, and speaker. And from the desk of the Jam Pod, I want to always remind you to utilize every moment that life sends your way. Don't live for tomorrow. Take a hold of your today. Walk in your moments, good or bad, happy or sad. That's all we get. A moment here and a moment there. Now, if you have not yet subscribed to the Just a Moment podcast, I am inviting you to do just that. And please hit that notification bell so you will be notified when new episodes are available for viewing. And please, always share your thoughts and comments. I would love to chit chat with you. So today's episode is a solo episode. Like I mentioned when we launched the podcast, that there are times when I will just share something with you, share a thought, a perspective, share a spoken word or some poetry. And so today it's going to be just that. And the title for today's episode is simply this: That Rod in Your Hand. Now, as I pour out of what God has placed on the inside of me, I pray it does resonate to what He has placed on the inside of you. Remember, I want deep to reach out to deep. You know, as I got ready to launch the Just a Moment podcast, I had to fight through a lot of reservations. There were a lot of notions I had to quell. I had questions at times, didn't have the answers. I wondered if I qualified to carry this gift that God had placed on the inside of me. I wondered if I was worthy to even share it. Thoughts upon thoughts, time and time again. And you have these questions in your mind. Why are you doing this? Who cares? Who wants to hear what you have to say? Will what you do make an impact? Does it really matter? And time again, and days and months, I had these thoughts, I had these questions. And I know you might be saying, but you wrote 2 books. It didn't matter. It's as if I was hiding behind the books I wrote because I still didn't feel like what I wanted to offer would really be received the way I maybe thought it could have been or should have been received. And I remember standing in my room. Let's just say God gives me a lot of revelations when I'm standing in my room. And this is what He said to me. He said, the enemy really wants you to believe that the rod you have in your hand is just a piece of steak. I'd say that again. The enemy really wants you to believe that that rod, yes, that gift that you have in your hand is just a piece of steak. And as I sat with that thought, He started showing me things, and God brought me back to the story of Moses in the Bible when he appeared before him at the burning bush, as a fire. As a fire. And I started thinking, could it be that God showed up to Moses as a fire, just to mimic the fire that was already on the inside of Moses. What am I saying? Remember the story of Moses. He was rescued from the river and he was raised by the Pharaoh's daughter. So he grew up in Egypt. He was raised in the palace. He was raised as an Egyptian. However, when he saw his Hebrew brother being beaten by the Egyptian slave master, it bothered him to the point where he ended up killing another Egyptian. He had to flee out of Egypt. And here he is in this area where he's just tending to sheep with this rod, yes, in his hand. But just maybe there was this fire within Moses to go back and rescue his kindred folk from bondage, from slavery. And so God showed up to him at the burning bush with fire, just maybe to mimic the fire that was already on the inside of Moses. And so he found all the excuses in the world, yes, like we do. I'm not good enough. I'm not qualified. I don't have the education that someone else have. And sometimes, yes, we look at social media and we start to judge ourselves, yes, by other people's standards. And Moses says, oh, I don't speak well. I stutter. What do I have? I don't have anything. But God said to him, what is that in your hand? Notice, God didn't tell Moses that he had a rod. God allowed him to identify what he had. And he said, a rod. What? What is that gift that you have in your hand? And God allowed Moses, I must say, to throw this rod down. And he says, pick it back up. Look at what Moses went on to do with his rod. He went back to Egypt and he plagued the Egyptians. He touched the river with his rod. And the Egyptians were plagued. He parted the Red Sea. God said, stretch out your rod. And the Red Sea parted. And the children of Israel walked through on dry land. His rod. He held up his rod and they won the battle. He struck the rock and the water came out. His rod. Great exploits. For what? The kingdom of God. He impacted a nation of people with his rod, his gift. What are you doing with that rod in your hand? Because the enemy really wants you to believe that it's just a piece of stick. For me, it was poetry. For me, it was poetry. I relegated myself to little or no importance. Who would I impact? Whose lives would I change? Whose life would I leave a lasting impact on or in? What message would someone receive from me? And when God reminded me that the rod in your hand is more powerful than you think. That gift that he gave you, use your gift, use your rod, open that daycare, write that book, go take that class, teach that lesson. What gift are you sitting on? What gift are you using casually like I did? Yes, a poem here, a poem there. I was asked to speak and yes, I spoke. I was asked to share a poem and I did just as casually as I could because the enemy wants you to think it's of no real value. It's of no importance whatsoever. So if God is allowing you to hold on to that rod, he gave you that rod for a reason. Use that gift. Go part that Red Sea. Go impact a nation of people, build your school, go back to college, get your degree. You know, it is so funny, but I told my story of when I came here and started working at the airport, pushing wheelchairs. There was that fire in me when I saw that ad about writing poetry. I took that on. I started that journey, but I was doing other things in between. I went back to school. I got 2 degrees. This not showing off about anything, but you work your way up to where you have to be. Do what you have to do. I got 2 degrees. I'm an accountant by profession. I went back to school. I've done so much other things in between, but I was still using this gift casually because I felt like it was of little or no importance. But one word, like God said to Moses, throw your rod down. So I pray that God, you will allow God to let you throw your rod down so that He will allow you to pick it back up. And so you too, like Moses did, like I'm doing right now, walking in my moments, do great exploits, for the kingdom of God. Take a hold of your moments. Take a hold of your rod. That rod in your hand is not just a piece of stick. Today's highlight poem is called His Gift. A cracked, broken vessel, scarred, marred, but still fit for use in the Master's kingdom. A grain of sand hidden inside of this muscle, waiting to be released as a beautiful pearl that will enlighten and brighten someone's world. A gift so beautiful, genuine, and rare, filled with the richness of the Father's love. Am I a deserving recipient? Will I pasture these seeds and harvest the returns? To build up and not tear down? To give and not take? To share unconditionally, yet chosen? To tell the story that would enlighten the hearts of those that would hear and cause them to beat to the sound of His rhythm. Am I better than the next man or woman, all created in His image? Though sometimes wearing the scars of life, still embracing this joy with an eagerness to deliver this, His gift, sometimes wrapped in the cloth of fear, yet carefully embracing it so that it will not be tarnished by the ebb and flow of life or the seasons that hinge on the precipice of the past or the incline of the future, but nurturing what is now. His gift today, tomorrow, and always. And like Moses, you are also able to identify that gift. I am able to identify the ability that God gave us. You know that gift. I know that gift. Oh, yes. For me, the rod in my hand was poetry, speaking it, writing words to encourage, motivate, to inspire. And I was willing to speak out at this point, willing to share. I am willing, even when I feel afraid or have doubts. I was willing to be vulnerable at times. So let me ask you this question. What will it take for you to identify your gift, your rod? And once you have identified the rod in your hand, how do you plan to use it? What are you planning to do with that rod in your hand? That gift that God has blessed you with, that skill, that ability that you have laid aside for such a long time. That burning desire that you have that cannot seem to be satisfied. The job you are currently in can't satisfy it, can't quench that fire. Your thirst for it. You would do it free if you had to. Yet, you're still trying to do what? To reason your way out of it. I got to the point where I had to deliver this baby that I had been carrying for a long time. I was willing to do what it took to walk this gift out. God, take away the fear. You see, I offered my gift back to Him. And so I willingly walk in the moments that God sends my way. I get just a moment like everyone else. And so I'm going to utilize every moment that I have. Let me encourage you. Don't ever think that it's too late. Don't ever think that you're too old. Chase after your dreams. If you're a cook, go cook. A baker, go open that bakery, go bake. If you're an author, go write that book. For someone else, it's again, open that daycare. Get into politics. Go do it. The rod in your hand is not just a piece of stick. Use it and leave a lasting impact. Moses went on to use his rod to part the Red Sea, like I mentioned earlier before, so the children of Israel could cross over on dry land. Even though they were in the desert, they had water when he hit that rock. Yes, water flowed out. God used him and his rod to deliver a nation of people. What an impact! What lasting impact are you willing to leave with your rod? Embrace your moments. Walk in them. The enemy may try to tell you that it makes no sense. Don't care. Walk in it anyway. He might try to tell you it has no value. Use it anyway. He might say no one cares. Use it anyway. Your rod. So God used him and his rod to deliver a nation of people. What an impact. What lasting impact will you leave with your rod? The enemy might just try to tell you that your rod has no value. Use it anyway. He might say no one cares. Use it anyway. He might say you may be shamed or laughed at. Use it anyway. Embrace your moments. Walk in them. Use them. Go leave a legacy with that rod. Touch someone's life. Restore someone's joy, someone's hope, or someone's peace. Be someone's inspiration. Yes, go use your rod. I am using mine. This gift in my hand to spread encouragement, God's love for His creation. So, yes, walk in that gift. Walk out that gift that God gave you. And even if you are afraid, use it afraid until you get to the point where you're not afraid anymore. When I started reciting poetry, I was scared. I had the jitters at times. I wasn't sure what to do. I read, I asked questions, I learned what I needed to learn, but I never stopped writing. I never stopped reciting. And today I will get on any stage and I'm not afraid to talk. I don't get afraid anymore. I'm willing to use my rod because it's not just a piece of stick. It's a gift that God saw fit to give me. He wrapped it in this broken vessel because he knew what would come out would be a pearl. So yes, use your gift. Use your rod. Because guess what? It's really not just a piece of stick. Recognize what you have in your hand. His gift. His gift. So there you have it on another episode of the Just a Moment podcast. I will see you next Tuesday, same place, same time. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and hit that notification bell. And please share your thoughts with me. I'd love to chit chat with you. Now remember, missed moments can never be recaptured or retrieved. Take a hold of your moments. I am taking a hold of mine. And whatever you do, don't forget, put God first in all that you do. And please be good to yourself and be true to who you are. See you next time on the Just a Moment podcast, the Jam Pod.
Just a moment, welcome to the Jam Podcast. Just a moment, welcome to the Jam Podcast. Just a moment, welcome to the Jam Podcast. This is the Just a Moment podcast where we pause to reflect on life through the lens of poetry and prose.